Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. This beans gravy I'm going to be showing you today is hands down the best way you can cook your beans. It's so simple and easy to make. So if you're looking for a new recipe to switch out your dinners, you're tired of tomato stew, this is the perfect switch for you. Without further much ado, let's just get right into the video. So the first thing we are going to be using, as we all know, is the beans. I'm using about 2 cups of beans. I'm preparing it for one person. So you might need more beans depending on the number of people you're preparing it for. So all that wrinkled part of the beans that we do not want in our stew, we are going to just remove it. Next, we are just going to wash our beans. I'm going to be washing it about 2 times before I put the beans on fire. After thoroughly washing the beans, I'm going to transfer the beans into a saucepan. Then I'm going to add about 4 cups of water into the saucepan. Then I'm going to cover it and keep it on the fire. The next thing we are going to do is prep the ingredients we are going to be using alongside the beans. I'm going to be taking about 4 pieces of garlic, take my ginger about a reasonable amount, then set them aside. In other words, prepare them to be blended. Then I'm going to take my onion. I'm using 1 white onion. You could use the red onions, depending on your preference or the ones available. After slicing the onions, I'm going to take a small amount of the onion, the garlic and the ginger I showed you earlier, put it into a small cup blender, then blend it into a puree. Before I blend it, I'm going to be adding my other ingredients. The other ingredients I'm using is white pepper, grey pepper, paprika, thyme, rosemary. I know we all have different ingredients we prefer to use in our cooking. So this part you can tweak it according to your own preference. You do not have to use the same additions I'm doing, but these additions make the stew come out great. So if it's possible you get them. And not to worry, I'm going to list all the ingredients in the description box. Here I'm adding my salt to taste. Then I'm going to blend everything. If you're enjoying this video so far and you've not liked, please, what are you waiting for? I'm waiting for you. Please like right now. And if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. It helps in the sustainability of this video. It helps YouTube push out the video to other viewers. So please subscribe. The next ingredients we are going to be using is the tomatoes and the peppers. I am using about 5 tomatoes and about 6 peppers. You can tweak them according to your own preference. I'm going to blend them into a very smooth paste, then set it aside. Next is banana. Yes, bananas. I'm going to cut them into smaller chunks, then also keep it aside for how we are going to use it later on in the video. Here I'm adding salt to the beans. The beans is on fire. I'm adding salt to it to taste. Then I'm going to cover it and keep it on the fire until it's all properly cooked. It takes about 30 minutes to cook. Under very high heat, it takes about 30 minutes to cook. So when the beans is done, this is the beans, this is the prepared beans. I'm going to set it aside. Then we are now going to go into the process of making the stew. Setting aside all our ingredients, this is the blended tomatoes and peppers. This is the onions I showed you earlier. These are the sliced onions we are going to be using later on in the video. And this is the blended onion, ginger and garlic I showed you earlier in the video. So they are already in set for the stew process. Taking an empty saucepan, I'm going to pour my oil into the saucepan. After pouring the oil, I'm going to let the oil sit on low heat for about 30 seconds before I add my sliced bananas. The bananas I showed you earlier, I'm now adding them. I'm going to let it fry until it darkens a bit. Do not forget to keep on stirring the banana in the oil so that it gets evenly cooked. We don't want one side burnt, one side uncooked. So after it cooks for some time, I'm going to add the blended ginger garlic. Then I'm going to add the sliced onions. Then stir it for some time. The next thing I'm going to be adding is about 3 bay leaves. I'm going to let this cook for another 3 minutes before I add my blended tomatoes and peppers. Stay with me, we are almost at the end of this video. Now I'm going to let it sit on the fire for about 10 minutes, intermittently stirring it so it doesn't get burnt. Here, the tomatoes and the pepper is fully cooked in the stew. The next thing we are going to be doing is adding our beans. As you can see, the stew looks ready now. This is the time we add the cooked beans I showed you earlier in the video. I'm just going to add them, then stir. Guys, I'm sorry for how unstable the video looks right now. I was cooking with one hand, then shooting with the other hand. That's how come it's looking all shaky. I'm sorry. Now, this is the final product. I've been letting this cook for about 10 minutes under low heat. When I say you will enjoy this, God, this stew is so good. I'm like, the first time I tasted it, I was like, why am I still eating tomato stew? This stew is the bomb. You can enjoy it with gari if you have gari, or you could enjoy it with rice. I normally take mine with rice. It tastes so good, guys. Like, seriously, don't sleep on this recipe. Try it out. I promise you, you will not go back to taking normal tomato stew when you try this recipe out. And yes, that is it for this video. If you want to see more innovative cookings like this on the channel, please let me know in the comment section. Okay, just type anything in the comment section. I will know that you want me to keep making videos like this. And thanks so much for watching. Until the next video, bye.